It's about knowledge sharing and helping other people. So you're serving really as a mentor to people who are perhaps a couple of steps behind you.
You're listening to 15M Mastery, a show that empowers you with insights from the leading iGaming experts to enhance your personal or business performance. The show is brought to you by tech-driven affiliate and media company Already Media, and supported by the AI-powered data analytics platform Blask. Yo Investments, a fund manager investing in outstanding people who are disrupting the iGaming, fintech, and crypto industries. And BC Game, the multi-award-winning crypto casino with a player-centric approach. Hello and welcome back to 15M Mastery. Today we're joined once again by our special guest Marija Hammon, the marketing director at Relax Gaming. This is the third and the final episode in a series with her. In today's episode, we will explore the importance of a personal branding in the iGaming industry. Welcome back, Marija.
Thank you so much. This is a really exciting topic, so I can't wait to get stuck in.
Totally one of my favorites. And to be honest, it's very nice to have you here because of the tremendous work and the progress you've done with your personal branding. I'm a big fan of what you do, so I cannot wait to learn more from what you're doing and how.
Thank you, and likewise.
Let's start with the first question. So I think it goes all the way to the basics. Many people see branding as relevant for influencers or B2C marketers. Why it is also important in the B2B side of iGaming?
For starters, we are in a hyper-saturated and highly competitive industry where product itself has become commoditized. So now it's about more than just having a strong corporate brand. Building a personal brand can be a significant positive endorsement of the company that you work for as well. And there are many companies still, unfortunately, that are worried about their employees building a personal brand for themselves. And in my opinion, they are genuinely missing out. The reason is that it builds an unbelievable amount of credibility, trust, showcases expertise, and also enhances industry reputation too. So it differentiates you and can open a wide range of opportunities for both the employee themselves and also for the company.
I love it. And I think you did a very interesting observation that the companies should no longer be a generic substance. Companies are driven by people. And if you think about the other niches, Elon Musk with Tesla, with X, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, all these guys, they are ambassadors and the influencers of their own companies, which are now, impossible to distinguish one from another. But if someone is new to personal branding, what are the first steps they can take to establish a consistent and effective online presence?
I think that an important thing to bear in mind is that it's both a science and an art. Like building any brand, it also requires strategy and consistency as well. So I think that anybody starting out just really needs to bear that in mind. I think that often, and by human nature, we want results and we want them quick, but it's a long game. And you need to build and understand that it will take some time to get the results that you're looking for. But if somebody is completely new to personal branding, I think that a good starting point is to focus on what you believe is your niche area or your area of expertise, and then to choose a platform where you feel your target audience actually sits. So, for example, for me, my platform of choice is LinkedIn, and that's where I have chosen to build my personal brand. But you do need to have those distinctive content pillars and to understand what you can offer your target audience as well. The next step would be to engage and connect with industry leaders and communities that you feel are relevant to you if you haven't done so already. And then I think my third step would be to just really be yourself and to tell your story. There are so many gurus out there and templates and kind of copy paste, cookie cutter, AI generated content. But the one thing that you have to stand out and that people really want to see is your story, your perceptions, and your thinking. So that would be my biggest piece of advice. And of course, that consistency for people can mean different things. For some people, consistency might be posting every single day. For other people, it might be posting 3 times a week. For some people, it might be posting 1 time a week. For others, it might be posting whenever they can. But the point is that you keep putting in the reps, you keep showing up, and that you are present and that you do things the way that you can and that suits you.
I really like your answer. Thank you so much for it. And I really like what you mentioned about the narrative and the personal brand as the story. And the question from my side is like, how do you actually align your personal brand with the company you represent, and how you build credibility for both yourself and your employer? Because I think credibility and trust is the number one attribute either for B2C and B2B in iGaming.
Of course. So I think that here it's important to establish that there should be a connection and harmony, of course, but that your personal brand is also your own. So you can have areas or pillars that you are putting out there into the world, which are not necessarily fully aligned to the company that you are with. But when it comes to alignment, I would say that you, of course, need to make sure that you are staying very professional and that you are staying very respectful. That is a fundamental. You would, of course, highlight any collaborative achievements or any success stories, any insights from your role or how you've built things. For example, if you have built a team, then you can talk about how you've done that. If you have moved up in a company, you can talk about your journey and your learnings through that progress and things like that. But of course, you are not there to reveal any kind of company secrets, any client information, anything that you shouldn't. So it's about just talking about your journey, perhaps at the company or prior to that, and just shaping it into a story that elevates your own expertise and your own profile, and also, of course, builds that trust in you as a person, as an employee of the company that you are with. So it's a win-win for both.
Yeah, I really like how you mentioned both content and the sensitive information, because I think iGaming is one of the the most sacred industries in the world, and people, they don't like revealing know-how or any like a secret information. And where do you think thought leadership fit into personal branding in iGaming, and how can someone create valuable content without actually revealing sensitive companies' information?
So the gatekeeping is an interesting one because I think that that's always the way that things used to work in the past. And it also ties into collaboration, which we've discussed quite a lot, both in terms of business and also personal branding. But that gatekeeping is something that shouldn't be there anymore. Of course, like we said, we're not talking about revealing any big secrets, but it's about knowledge sharing and helping other people. So you're serving really as a mentor to people who are perhaps a couple of steps behind you. And you can do that and share those learnings without revealing anything that you shouldn't. So I think that that gatekeeping of knowledge is an outdated mindset, similar to how we used to see people who are in the same role as competitors, whereas now a lot of the time you actually see them as people that you can learn from, collaborate with, and grow together with. So I think that that is a mindset shift that is happening. And I think that building in public is amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think I was inspired a lot by creators on Twitter platform specifically, because I think the format and the openness of creators there is truly remarkable, and the amount of insights, especially in tech or AI niches, is like incredible. It's like, reading Twitter for a few hours a day is like getting the MBA in AI in just like a month.
Exactly. There is
Right.
so much great value out there, and everybody has value to share, irrespective of where they are at. So, of course, we're seeing a lot of people who are in CEO positions, founders, exec, who are now going on to LinkedIn and other platforms and building their personal brands and telling their story, which is incredible. But you're also seeing juniors who are doing the same, and the value that they are also sharing is phenomenal because there are always people who find value in your story and what you've been through, and you never know who you can inspire by sharing it. So it's incredible, irrespective of which level you're at. And for a lot of people, it can actually be life changing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So speaking about the platforms, so you mentioned that your platform of choice is LinkedIn. And I know that back in September last year, you've done your first speaking gig, and congrats with that. It was a massive success. I want to answer you about the conferences. So how can industry conferences, panels, speaking engagements will boost your personal brand, if will? And what tips do you have for finding and making the most of these opportunities?
So, of course, the biggest thing is that participating in any of these public speaking engagements builds your credibility by sharing your expertise in a format like that. It increases your visibility as well, and it expands your network too. How I would tackle getting these opportunities, it depends on the role that you're in and the contacts that you have, because sometimes if of course you are in a senior position, then you may be getting these type of opportunities anyway. But I think that nowadays with personal branding and social media platforms, you can actually be your own media in many ways too. Like in the past, you would have to wait until you're in a senior position to get interviews or to land podcasts. But now, if you are going out there and telling your story and sharing your expertise and building your credibility that way, those opportunities might be landing on your plate purely based on that. And it's happened to me a couple of times too, irrespective of the fact that I have been in the industry for a long time and in marketing. I have had certain requests purely based on a particular post that I shared that really resonated with somebody, or simply because someone resonates with the content that I'm putting out there and wants me to share my story with their audience.
Great. I think conferences are becoming bigger every year, and definitely it's one of the most impactful mediums for anyone who is thinking about building their personal brand. So last question for today will be about the metrics, because I'm a nerd and I really like numbers and I dig into them daily. What indicators or metrics should one look when trying to measure the impact of a personal branding efforts?
Of course, there are the classic metrics, or what we like to call vanity metrics, like your engagement rates, how many people like your post, how many people comment on your post, and then, of course, your follower growth. If you are experiencing a growth on your profile in terms of the number of followers, then that means that your content is resonating, which is a positive. So all of these, if you have a lead magnet and people are actually going for that, then that is a metric as well. So those are all metrics that you can consider in terms of pure data from the platform. But I think that one of the biggest factors actually is the number of people who are reaching out to you directly, whether it's when they see you face to face or in a message or in a DM, to tell you how much a piece of content or what you are doing is actually resonating with them, or people who ask you to mentor them or for help with something, or if you would offer coaching or anything like that. So those, for me, show direct impact, and impact equals more in my mind than any follower count or anything else that would be considered a classic metric. And then that is when you don't have an offer, right? So when you're purely building your personal brand. But if you are a founder of a business, or you are actually pushing an offer or a product, then you have more tangible metrics as well in terms of the revenue that you're actually getting from the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you start strongly correlating your company's growth with the like as you mentioned, vanity social media metrics, you will always find a strong correlation and attribution towards the personal branding of people who are doing this for our organization. I absolutely enjoyed our conversation, Maria, and Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights, and I cannot wait to have a chat with you soon.
Thank you. It's been such a pleasure.